What is up, traders? It's Friday, December 8th, so a lot of good action today in the market. Let's review what happened on NQ. So like I've been saying in all my other videos, for the month, we are still in our accumulation phase. So dropping down to the 2 hour to see our weekly quarterly theory, right? We're already past the reversal continuation, now we're in distortion. It can go either way. If you remember my last video, I said I was going to play it however it showed up, right? I did mark out a point of interest this morning right here at this swing high. I called this the draw on liquidity for the day. I figured price was going to dip into there and not pass it anymore, especially with this 2 hour fair value gap right up there, which would also make sense because for the month we are to be accumulating, we're going to stay in a range for the first week of the month, which we did. So that made sense to me. Now let's dip into the 15-minute chart. So there's 3 trades you could have really taken today, or last night and today, for this whole entire day session. Starting off with Asia session, we know that this is an accumulation range, but if you take a look at it, right, we accumulated in the beginning. Here is the true open, and what happened, we dipped right down. So let's go to the 5-minute, that looks better on there. We dipped right down of the true open in the second sub-quarter of it, and so you could have taken a long entry right at the open of 9. Targeting 50 ticks is what I usually target during Asia session, because you don't get any kind of huge moves on it, and your stop could have been this low. Oops. Stop could have been that low right there. It would have been a 1 to 3. I like to do a 1 to 1, having a 50 tick stop and a 50 tick take profit. So that's $250 right there. Come into the London session. We want to see what it ends up doing. First thing it does is we accumulate shorts. We manipulate down, actually taking out these relative equal lows right there, dipping down into this 5-minute fair value gap right here. So we manipulated down, gave us all the reason to go long during London, which I actually did. So I think I took it on the 1-minute chart. Did I take it on the 1 minute? I didn't take it on the 1 minute. I just entered long, I think, if I remember correctly. I just entered long, and now during London session, I like to take 100 ticks. Oops. I like to take 100 ticks as my take profit. So I entered long, and my take profit was at 100 ticks, which is right below midnight open. So even if we were to continue downwards, that would have been okay, because staying below midnight open would still show weakness to go down. But for the day, if you're bullish on the day, which I had kind of no bias right now, I had a short-term bias of being bullish, you want to buy below midnight because that is considered premium or discount. If you were having a bearish bias, you would want to do that above midnight open, which would have been perfect here, right? Because you see that we came and took out these relative equal highs from Asia session shortly after, and we dropped below and took out London's low during the New York session. So this was another great trade. So this is $250. This is a $500 trade on just one contract of NQ. Then we come into the New York session. And here is when I look at the overall picture for the day. We accumulated, manipulated down, came back up over midnight, and started dropping down. So here I started to think, we did manipulate down, we took out this low, and now we're coming down and taking out that low. I think that we want to go higher. Plus we had news at 8:30, we had NFP today. So depending on what the reaction was there, I was going to go based solely off of what happened within this distribution phase. So I looked at a higher time frame to see if there were any kind of PD arrays that we were going to tap into. There was a 1 hour fair value gap right there, but I noticed that there was a 4 hour fair value gap right there too. Structure is pretty bullish for the most part. I mean, not completely bullish because we don't have a body close over this candle, but we did claim the 50% of it. So that kind of makes me want to see bullishness come in, and then any dip, the buyers should step in. So we see price came down during that news event and shot right back up. So I ended up waiting for 9 o'clock. We see here that it dropped, came back up, and at 9 o'clock I wanted to see that this fair value gap get traded into, and I wanted it to hold, which unfortunately it did not. And 9 o'clock pretty much opened exactly at that. Pretty much opened at exactly there. My stop was going to be a pretty high stop right here, but I was so confident in the trade, and my target was going to be that drawn liquidity, because New York has the most influx of volume, and so you could see these targets get hit so far away. You couldn't see it in London or Asia, especially Asia, but you can definitely see those targets hit in New York session. So what did it end up doing? Came and it traded through this 5-minute fair value gap. So I dropped to the 1 minute to see if there was any kind of last resort type of PD array that was going to hold us up, and I found a 1 minute fair value gap right there. Look at what price does. Came right into it. Market opened and we pushed up. There was no reason to sell. I mean, I did take my gains quickly on this because we took out these highs right here, right there, and dropped immediately. So when it started coming back up, I took my profit because I thought, maybe we're not going to keep going higher. But I need to have conviction in my plays. I had a strong feeling we were going to hit this drawn liquidity, and it did, right? There was no reason to sell this because we had that high, a low, a higher high. Didn't really claim it with a body, so that made me nervous. But here we created that higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high now at this drawn liquidity, and we drop. We have a break of structure right there. I mean, it wasn't clean. I mean, there was technically a break of structure there. Could have taken it at that, just at the break of structure. There was really no big retracement into any kind of fair value gap except this one right there. You could have maybe taken that one, but regardless, 3 trades. This trade would have paid $2,800 on one contract. This one $500, and this one $250. So imagine you made $3,500 during the 3 sessions. You taking the major move of each one, and that's all because of quarterly theory. Derives the bias that you're looking for. Look for your entry, and you're good. So that was what was done today. And one other thing, to be able to make you more confident, I was thinking that if we claimed above a 5-minute close above midnight open, that shows more bullishness to go higher. Because I wanted to see how price was going to react here at this London high. We took midnight open, closed above it, dropped a little bit, and kept running up. So that was a solid entry. Another entry you could have taken on the 5-minute chart if you didn't feel confident taking it right at 9 was, we have this high right there, creating a low, lower high, higher low. Then we have a break of structure or a market structure shift. Fair value gap, dropped right into it. Let me take this out so you can see it clearly. Market structure shift into a fair value gap plus a breaker block right there. Take that, write it up. Would have been perfect. Let's take a look here. Would have been a 1 to 1.7. Not super high risk to reward. Could have made your stop up below at that candle, would have made it a 1 to 5, but still, that is a crazy move. You could have banked on that. You had the confluence of London manipulating down, and then within the distribution phase you're expecting a move up, but we wanted to take out more liquidity with news especially, so we manipulated down. It was a given that we were just going to pump today. So those are the 3 trades you could have taken. Good solid day, good solid week, right? We did a good read the last 3 days. Hopefully next week I can start live trading again, but we'll see. So enjoy your weekend, everyone. let's get off the charts over the weekend, relax, unwind, and come back Sunday night ready to get it going. All right, guys. Peace.